Hey, what is up guys? It is Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at Game 2 between OG and Viking.gg. So yeah, this was a series that I wanted to look at because No-Tail is picking Undying. That's obviously not the only thing I want to look at. We have Topson's Invoker, the new Drums Invoker that he's been running. And of course, it's against a very competent team, Viking.gg. And so yeah, this video will hopefully give you guys a strong update of what's in meta right now. I'm going to be talking about why I think these heroes are strong, and let's start it off by looking at the drafting phase. Also, I want to ask you guys a quick question. If you're interested in learning about the offlane, I recently just made a bristleback course on the gameleap website. And of course, there's also a ton of other content. I've recently also made an Immortal 2 treasure opening, so if you're interested in seeing me open up the Immortal Treasure 2, I also just posted that reaction to the website as well. And finally, the last thing that I want to mention is that you can sign up down below, and I made a couple mentality videos recently. So if you're a player who commonly tilts, you can't stay focused, you're struggling, well, what you want to do is sign up to the website because I just made a couple videos. And one in particular is where I talk about how to learn and enjoy the process of losing, right? You need to learn how to accept losing. I go into depth about that. It's kind of like a motivational speech that will get you untilted. And yeah, go check it out. Click the link down below, sign up right away, and I hope to see you guys there. So, first things first, now there's only 2 bans to start. All right, 2 bans, 2 picks. We saw a first pick Magnus, and in response to that, we saw Undying. Undying is fantastic against Magnus for a couple reasons. Decay is good if it happens to be offlane, right? That's fantastic, right? So Decay is good for that. Tombstone cancels his blink, so it makes it very hard for him to team fight. Soul Rip can save people if they get RP'd. And most importantly, you have the damage amp from your ultimate. So Undying's ultimate, how it works now, is if Undying ulties and stands next to someone at level 1, they take 25% more damage. Now, Magnus, in the early game, is so hard to kill, so if you have plus 25% damage, all of a sudden you actually can get the kill. And yeah, I like this synergy overall. I think Invoker with Undying makes a lot of sense. Invoker provides the control from the mid lane, especially with, Topson's Drums build. He can go very fast, he can catch up. So yeah, it provides this nice mixture of team fight and strong early game in response to Viking.gg's Enchantress Magnus, which also is very strong early on, so kind of a good mix to counter now. Now, and coming to that, we see a Spectre ban. Reason why is Viking lost to it the last game, so they probably just didn't want to play it against again, and Undying is very good with Spectre, right? Secures him the lane, gets him off to a good start. Then we see a Juggernaut ban, just a very good Magnus hero. So I think that's honestly the main reason why. It's also a good Invoker matchup. Invoker can have a hard time against Jug. Can be alright, like Alacrity, in my opinion, is very good against Jug. Lets you kill him through to spin, if you ever do catch him out. But other than that, it's not really that good of a matchup. Following that up, we see a Legion ban. Kind of a weird ban, honestly. I don't really get that one. I like, I'm being honest, guys. Sometimes I just don't get the bans. I don't see why Legion's particularly good here. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's bad, but I don't see it being anything special against Vikings heroes. Maybe it's decent against Ench in lane. Not great or anything like that, though, so I don't know, interesting ban nonetheless. Then we see the Veno ban. Veno is a pretty good hero against Undying in lane. It goes both ways. A good Undying player, especially if the Veno doesn't know what he's doing, can destroy the Veno, right? The Undying can get a bunch of decay stacks, you build up 2-3 stacks, then you go in, right? If you have that patience where you build up the stacks, then go in, that matchup can be very favored for Undying. But, if the pros know what they're doing, I would say it's generally Veno favored. Then we see an Axe ban, pretty good hero against Ench. Ench can't really deal with the creep cutting early on. She doesn't do enough damage until, she at least gets a creep, so you can deal with that. Then we see a Wind Ranger pick. This is definitely a counter to Enchantress in general. It's pretty decent against Ench in lane because it doesn't get run down. Enchant does purge Wind Run, but at least with the Focus Fire, if you do end up getting a Javelin or something of that sort, it allows you to actually lock down and kill the Ench. And maybe OG just likes this hero. I think Wind Ranger Undying is a very hard to kill support duo, which is always good. You see a Clockwork come out, very good against Undying, very good against Invoker, very good against Wind. All these heroes hate getting hook-shotted and can't really deal with the Q. Then we see a Sven pick. And honestly, with the weirdest pick of the game is this Anti-Mage. Frankly, I think they just felt like they needed that safe laner that could lane well. With Ench, which Anti-Mage Ench is very strong, because the creep gives so much strong laning, the AM can actually auto-attack. And what I would also like to note is that I think the Sven pick is definitely usually an Anti-Mage counter. I think in the past, when Sven's ulti was 25 seconds instead of the current 40 in terms of duration, if AM could kite it out, it was GG. But now I feel like Sven ulti is hard to kite out, and like Sven's in a good spot, So like you kind of just shred this AM, and unless you can split push out the Sven and kite him later on when you get like Abyssal Manta Battle Fury, I don't like this matchup for AM. I think it can be okay later on though. I think it can be alright later on. Then we see the Bat Rider ban. It's just good here. These heroes can't deal with, they can't purge it. We see a Timber ban. Makes sense. Timber is pretty logical here. I think it's a good hero in lane with Wind. It also could let the Wind just tri-lane, and it's good against Mag, good against Ench, good against Clock, pretty good against AM. Just deals damage, a lot of damage to these heroes that naturally block damage in other ways. And the Phoenix ban, probably because they just can't hit the egg. They do have Alacrity, which is pretty good, but other than that, it's a bit of a tough time, and it also is a good hero in lane with the Clock if they want to run Clock 3, which I think Viking has done before. And we see it finished off with, I believe, I think it's an offlane Lina. It's something really bizarre, but basically they want to pick something that can hit Undying. So I think they pick Lina so they can just stun the Undying and auto-attack him and then Clockwork Q him and win the lane, but it's tough because Sven Undying is rough. Anytime you pick Sven or a hero with a stun with Undying or a slow like Troll or Sven or Wraith King, it helps the Undying do better, or Spectre, you know? Any sort of disable allows Undying to pump out damage, which is pretty strong. And OG finishes off with the Night Stalker. Night Stalker here, I think the reason why it's... Well, there's a couple of reasons. I think Night Stalker is top tier against Magnus. I think this matchup is so good. I think Night Stalker should often be looked at more so as a Magnus counter for the reason that in teamfights, what Magnus wants to do, for the most part, is, especially if he's mid, which is the most common Magnus you're going to see nowadays, at least from my experience, is he wants to stay in the back, get off a big RP with his blink, right? And then kill them. However, with Night Stalker, you can always see him coming, right? Same thing, you can see the Clock coming. You actually can win the vision game against Clock, and that's a big deal, and you can cancel the Magnus. If Magnus is against the Night Stalker and the Night Stalker knows what he's doing, Night Stalker literally just goes and auto-attacks the Magnus. And then the Magnus' teamfight is awkward, because Night Stalker's too tanky for Magnus to kill alone, generally, and so it really disrupts him in the fight. And Night Stalker's very good against AM, it's good against Lina, because it gap closes on them, and you can't Manta out of the Night Stalker W, so that's a pretty good matchup. So I really like that Night Stalker pick, I think it makes so much sense. And now, let's take a look at the Dota 2 match. Alright, let's hop right into the game. I'm going to start off by looking at No-Tail, then I'm going to shift over towards Thompson in the mid lane. So, you know, a little bit of a flank from No-Tail. This is pretty standard item build on Undying. There are some lanes where you can skip the orb, however, I think if you're against any sort of ranged hero or favorable matchup, especially if you have a stun, such as the Sven stun, having this Orb of Venom is going to let you club down the enemy team. So let's get right into it. I like this positioning from No-Tail, prevents him from getting auto-attack to start, and it allows him to get a potential 2-man decay off. So instantly leads with the decay. Love this, love this, love this. So many people, when I see them playing Undying, they just... I don't know, they just don't cast decay. It's weird. So he actually ends up getting caught out by Rammus. Great play by Rammus. I don't know why he would man up there. It's kind of a bad decision from No-Tail, just straight up. Really, the key to playing Undying in the lane, which No-Tail did wrong there, is being able to find 2v1 situations, right? You have to constantly look for situations where one of the players isn't paying attention to you and you can close the gap, because the main advantage of Undying is this 300 movement speed, right? Heroes like Lina don't have that, right? Clockwork might, he's currently slow, but you know, you can catch up to Lina pretty easily and you can flank her. And that's kind of what he wants to do here, right? He's trying to flank her. Bit surprised he's not eating a tango beforehand. Yeah, that's kind of just weird. Honestly, not a huge fan of the trading from No-Tail overall. So, I mean, the original stun from the Lina definitely threw him off, but anytime you're going in for a trade like that, you should definitely eat a tango beforehand and then go in. So, yeah, going in for the decay. Pops his salve. Does have to be careful. Here, I actually would prefer if he came in from the bottom side. Now, I know it sounds like I'm just tearing No-Tail apart. That's not my goal. It's not what I'm going to be doing here. I just want to be honest with you guys. Like, and this is how I see Dota. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. But, you know, obviously I don't think he's had too much impact. Great 2-man decay, though. And now he's able to close the gap. You can see him, he's pinging out mid when he's like, get this guy, right? Get this guy. And this is the advantage of this lane. Oh my god, what a good Lina stun. Holy sick plays from Aramis. Honestly, I don't blame No-Tail from dying here. Misses the 2-man decay, goes down. But really, just, whew, Aramis is working them in this lane right now. Honestly, very impressive play from him. Otherwise, I think No-Tail would just take over this lane. So yeah, gonna have to look for decay here. Great start from Viking. This can really make Undying have no game. If you don't let him bully you the first level, you can just win. Like, you win. So, No-Tail, picking up a Clarity, goes for the heal onto mid 1. At this point, with the lane far up, all you can do is look for some sort of a pull, which looks like he's going to go for here. Well, mid 1 gets gone on, so he's going to have to help out. Clarity, upside pull, very nice. Alright, he has to get the lane back for Sven here. He wants Sven to be able to chill. So Toby, running under tower here, says, I don't want you to chill. Great play from the Clockwork, right? He understands, hey, as long as I don't auto-attack anyone, I can turn on my battery assault and grief this Sven. So fantastic play from the Clockwork. And now let's head over to mid one. And this is the game he somehow stomped the mag in lane. I don't know how that's possible. Like, this is something I might just make an entire replay analysis on for the GameLeap website. We should sign up for right now. You also should smash the like button, everyone. That's what you should do. If you like Thompson or Notetail or OG, then you support GameLeap because we're clearly very good friends. I'm definitely not just saying that. Alright, getting into it, you can see Thompson also buys very weird items. Has a crown and a Blades of Attack. The Blades of Attack is not too crazy. You know, this is something we've seen from Wex Invoker for a while. You pick up that Blades of Attack early on to give yourself a bit of damage, considering you get attack speed from Wex. It's just laning. He's just laning. Looks like he may go for a gank here. Sees the DD from the Magnus. He's just controlling the lane. Nice, burns the mana. Very well played. Clean lane from Thompson. And this is what you want to do on this version of Invoker. 4 points on Wex, 2 in Quas. And you kind of just win your lane. Right? You sort of just win your lane. That's the goal. Like, establish your dominance in the lane. You get a lot of CS, a lot of denies. And there's a lot of things I haven't talked about here. The small stuff that he's doing to win this lane. It's not just last hits and denies. A lot of it's movement, ability to see proper auto attacks and such, and picks up a wand as well. Let's see if he does anything crazy. Usually, honestly, you'd be surprised, guys. Very often you won't gank unless you get something like a haste rune, which is what we see here. He's immediately going in for the gank. Gonna call over the Undying, sets up for a 2-man EMP tornado. Sees Toby's low. This is gonna be a hard kill though. My man is not low on mana. Instead, he's just gonna settle for the creeps. Oh, okay, he didn't get the first one. Does get the other one, though. Yeah, I mean, you can see, guys. That's why a lot of people ask me, like, oh, Speed, I never know when to gank. Pros don't know exactly when to gank either, but there's a couple things you want to look for. You want to look for the opponents pushed up far. You want to look for engagements that have already started. And most importantly, you want to look for action runes. Things like Invis runes, DDs, hastes. Haste is the most important one. They're all the best runes for actually making plays, and Thompson's actually warding for himself. Gotta love that. And again, a jungle a little bit here. Try to get his team some neutral items. So we're going for a pick-off play here. What is he doing? Is he just sniping a courier? Is that the whole purpose of him being here? What? 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 What am I watching? My man's playing Bounty Hunter. What? And he's gonna walk it off too. There's no way they kill him. They have nothing. He gets RP'd, but he's just gonna go. Oh, okay, they do have dust. No. Oh, what? Guys, that's why you buy stats, by the way. Imagine if he doesn't have an Ocean Heart, a Crown, and Phase Boots and all these items. He's obviously dead. And he's on Quas the entire time. Oh my god, that is so much space. That is the most space I've ever seen. And sniping those couriers, I would have to imagine OG was down by 1k net worth before he sniped that. Both of those couriers. Yep, down by 1k net worth. Snipe, snipe. Okay, so they're down by about like 900 right now. Snipe, snipe. Now they're down by probably like 500. That's crazy. And he TP's out. That's just ridiculous. They're still not ahead though. This anime is getting really farmed. This guy is huge. The Empower for Magnus is obviously putting in numbers. However, they definitely have ways of killing AM. This is not some god AM game. They have the Undying ulti. I think Undying ulti is so good against AM. It just makes it so hard for AM to do anything, because it's hard for AM to burst a Flesh Golem Undying. It's hard for AM to deal with this damage amp and then like a Sven hitting him. You're just gonna die, right? You're really just gonna die. Let's take a look at Seb for a little bit here. 2 bracers. Ended up cleaning up a fight there. No points in Void early on, so he's really focused on dominating his lane. And really, this has been the common trend I've been seeing with pro teams for quite a while now, which is you buy items that let you stay in your lane and do well, right? You want to be that. You want to be the menace who just chills, right? So if you're an offlane player right now, I really do recommend you try to get into this habit where you focus on learning on winning your lane, right? You're gonna have to win your lane, and then after that, you buy items like bracers and you buy items like phase boots and drums. Right? And you might be saying, oh, Speed, but they have 2 drums. Drums is broken, in my opinion. I actually think this item is way too good. I really, really do believe that. I think this item is ridiculously broken. And the reason I say that is it's $14.75, which is absurdly cheap, right? Absurdly cheap. It's the cost of 1 bracer and an ogre axe. And it gives you 20 movement speed. Movement speed is always huge in Dota. I've said this a million times. Mana regen, good for the early game. All stats, sure, early game. And then this active is the crazy part. Sure, it's an active and sure you have charges, but it's 45 attack speed and 13% movement speed for 6 seconds. 45 attack speed? Like, that's like 1,000 gold to every hero, and then the movement speed is much more than 1,000 gold to every hero. The value you get out of this item is just insane. It really is insane. So them buying 2 of them, in my opinion, makes complete sense. There's no reason why you can't have 2 drums anymore. That fallacy, if anyone still says that to you in your pubs, just tell them Speed says to go back to college. Go back to high school, I don't know, wherever you are. Oh, no. You know what Speed tells them? Speed tells them to get a Game Leap sub. That's what Speed tells them to do. Alright, here we are at the 14-minute mark. Looks like they're going on mid. Pretty standard stuff. This seems like a classic thing to see in the professional scene, which is anytime you get some sort of map control around the mid lane, you go for the mid tower. Right, you want to take this mid tower. It prevents good TPs. And oh boy, stun comes out on the Toby. Clubs him down, 4 hits and he's gone. However, he's in a bad spot, but that's a big stun. The damage he's doing is insane. Terrible RP. Unfortunately, not trying to, you know. Once again, I'm being objective, guys. I don't hate the player. I hate the plays, right? Or I like the plays. Okay, they disengage. Very even game. Very, very even game. You know, the thing is, the question you always have to ask yourself is, like, can this AM solo carry? He doesn't necessarily have to. Like, the Magnus is pretty farmed, but this is not your typical pub Magnus when you have, like, 8 million net worth above your opponent and a 12-minute blink echo. Right? That is not this Magnus. Which is why, if Thompson didn't win his lane, I think this game actually could have gotten out of control, so props to Thompson for that. Looks like Seb's just hunting at this point. I really like to watch Nightstalker gameplay, because I think this is one of those heroes that seems easy in execution, but you have so many options because you're so fast, and the question always is do I hit creeps and try to scale? Because Nightstalker scales well, or do I just do other stuff? Now here we go. You can see, this is what I talked about, guys, right? You run at the Magnus, right? You see how he instantly says, Magnus! Yeets at the Magnus. Magnus has to disengage, and now Magnus' whole fight is scuffed. He actually still has his blink up, but love that play. Also, they might be able to catch the AM. No, they do force the AM back. Gotta love that play. This is an OG classic. I'm gonna continue to call this the OG classic. And what the OG classic is you make a play top, then instantly when you make this play top, you tell your team, smoke the bottom. It's the OG classic. You go top with your scary hero, right? So now they're scared of going top. The enemy team has to say, okay, Nightstalker, if we send a hero top, there might be a Nightstalker ready to absolutely rip my face off. So then what OG does is they go, okay, well, you think we're top right now, instantly go to bottom. Now you can't farm bottom. And if you try to make a play mid or bottom, well, our whole team is here and we can at least take the fight. And they kick the AM out as well. So huge plays from OG. This is really just collapsing the map on the enemy team. Obviously, it doesn't end the game for the enemy team, but it's a nice little play that I think is very effective. And especially if you do that in pubs. And I made that play in one of my recent videos that I talk about on the website. It's an Ember replay. Probably not up at the time of this video. It will come out in like 3 days or so, approximately. But I make that exact play. I talk about shot calling in that video. And it's just so important to be able to say, okay, we're top, the enemy team's gonna go bottom, let's go bottom. Smoke, boom, in. Let's go back to Thompson for a little bit. It's going for the Axe build. I believe this Axe still gives you the extra orb level on each level, so it's like 3 levels on Evoker, which is probably the best part about this Axe. The Cataclysm's good and all, and you know, as you can see, he's maxing Exhort now. Well, he's maxing Wex first, but he's maxing Exhort as well. Scan comes out, really nice scan. Great scan. Great TP out by Shad. Yeah, they do see the Magnus, though. You can see OG, they just love to do this. They love to do this. However, Viking is working them. Viking is so freaking good at this game. You guys see what I'm talking about? This is such high-level movement, such high-level understanding of the game, right? OG goes bottom, they scan him out, they scout it, AM gets out. Then they say, okay, OG isn't pushing in bottom, right? So if OG doesn't push in bottom, it means that they're likely going to shift back up top, right? So they don't push in bottom. They don't even shove out mid, right? In fact, they maybe had a ward on them that I don't see, and therefore, you know, the Magnus is able to skewer and get out as well. So, great awareness by the Mag. Oh, okay, looks like they do have a ward here. I don't know if they saw them, though, because I thought they were smoked, but nonetheless, such a good play from Viking. Viking really moving the map very well, even finding a pickoff onto No-Tail. I think No-Tail wanted some information. He's probably like, hey, where are they? I mean, they have a general sense, but oh, Roche coming out. All right, let's see how that's played. We're going to watch it from Thompson's perspective. It's a big fight. The Axe coming on Courier. I'm curious to see if he'll back up. No, instantly, just my man says, frick it, and runs in. Holy, he just runs in, burns out the mana of the AM. This is so bad. Dude, guys, some people don't know this, but AM without mana is so useless. Like, a lot of players don't realize this, but AM, a big counter to AM is actually mana burn. Now, Thompson gets gone on. Go back to his perspective. Does he die? Great tornado into the ghost walk. Kites out. Seb with the silence as well, preventing any quick follow-up at least. He's able to disengage. And they completely overcommit. Helena goes down in the back. Mid one gets the Aegis. Oh, let's watch it from mid one's perspective. They blink in. Magnus skewers out, but uh-oh. That's an Alacrity Magnus. Oh my god! Oh, wow, look at that damage, guys. This is, I'm gonna play it in normal speed, right? Normal speed. Not game leap speed, normal speed. Look at this. Doosh, 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 doosh. Clockwork loses half his health. Just freaking cleave. Oof, that is dirty. By the way, I like this build a lot. I see too many players going this, like, these other items that don't hit spikes. I think you need spikes, and I think you need raw damage on Sven's. Mask of Menace, Echo Saber give you nice sets of damage, right? Echo Saber's good mana as well. That's why I like this. Kind of a weird fray from Roji. They do have the Aegis, but no God Strength. However, it looks like the AM's just dead. What we talked about, AM cannot deal with the Night Stalker. Night Stalker just eats him up. I mean, Seb is absolutely massive. 115 CS, 5 kills, 7 assists at 22 minutes. Very good. Night Stalker's a hero that does not rack up a lot of CS because he has no wave clear. So having 115 while being this active is impressive when it in itself. You can see he hits some jungle camps in between. And yeah, it looks like OG kind of just turns the tide. Oh! Ooh, let's watch that from Sucks' perspective. Just sees the lined up and goes for it, hits him. Oh no, they knew. Aramis is like, oh no. Like, oh man. Sucks also taking the Shackle Shot cooldown. I see some pros skipping it. Personally, I feel like it's good. Brings it all the way down to 8. Obviously from 10, but it's really good. Also, is this a casual Void Stone? Is that what this is? Another Shackle onto the Magnus. Can they follow it up? They do have tops in here. Tornado comes out, another Shackle. I mean, you're just perma-shackled against Windranger. The only issue is if you're bad at shackling, you'll never have any impact, but if you're good at it, like, this ability is frankly ridiculous. It really is. A 4-second stun on an 8-second cooldown that can land on 2 heroes. Just whether or not you can hit it, really. Oh, Meteor Hammer. What? Okay. My man is on Meteor Hammer. I think this is the point of the game where it falls apart for the enemy team. I mean, especially once Sven has an AC, Animage just does so little to him. And, like, AM does not have armor, right? He just kind of lacks armor. He has a bit, actually. He does have 27 right now. Against the AC, though, and a potential medallion is going to drop really quickly. And yeah, the Sven's just going to work. Without popping Mask of Madness, it seems like he's just insta-killing the racks. And wait, what just happened there? Did Seb just blink in to tank the skewer? What? Oh, I think he was trying to just W and he got hit. Okay, I don't think he's like... I thought that was some like crazy meta play, but nah, I think he was just trying to get off the W. Oh no. This is the problem. I really don't get this. I think their idea behind the AM pick is like, we'll stall the game for him with this Magnus and power and he'll carry us. But was it even really a good AM game? I don't feel like AM is that good against Invoker. Because like, EMP is just so bad for him. Deafening Blast is brutal too. Can't purge it with Manta. It's not a good... AM against Wind is sketch, because AM, you can't kill the Wind if she gets Wind Runoff until you have Abyssal. It's pretty hard. I don't feel like Undying is good for AM as well. I mean, they do lack a bit of control, kind of, for him, but OG just groups up. They never play the split pushy game. They just go from top to bottom to top to bottom, which is something that I'd love to see more from pubs, which is just going from top to bottom over and over again. It's a great way to play Dota fast. It's frankly what I always see from these pubs. And alright, I'm going to watch the rest of the game from No Tail's perspective. I mean, I don't think there's much more. Yeah, it's a 29-minute game, so it looks like there's just one pick-off, and that's going to probably make them call GG, but... I really think this new Undying could be a top-tier hero. I did recently say in the tier list, I think he said he was A, which I'm not going to say I stand by, but you can see, like, he just runs at this Lina here and, like, kind of just zones them out. His position, I mean, they are just ignoring him, which is good from Viking. You do just want to ignore the Undying. You can see No Tail's like, hit me. And how big is this AoE? My question is, how big is this AoE? It's a... Oh, so it's only when you attack. Okay, for some reason I thought it was an AoE, but it seems to be only when you attack. We'll test that theory real quick here, just so I can get the in for you guys. It's kind of a weird... It was a weird change, because his stuff used to be an AoE, but yeah, he punches the Lina. I think it's when he punches her, her movement speed just goes to 0. If I'm not mistaken. 457. Let's see when she gets punched. Obviously getting hit by the zombie, which starts it off, and then... Okay, yeah, it's definitely when she gets punched. So, yeah, basically, you just have to try to punch various people in the fights. That's the goal. You just kind of punch everyone once, or punch the people who are getting gone on. Give him the bop, oh, No Tail, yep! So, yeah, I mean, it's not as strong as I thought, right? Because if it was AoE, it would be probably broken in that regard, which is why I was thinking of it very highly, but it's whoever you hit, which is still good, right? Especially against the tanky heroes, you bop them once, and you throw up a tombstone, you say, can you kill me? I'll decay you, I'll soul rip, I'll waste your time, I'll buy a cloak, I'll buy a wand, I'll buy tranks. I'm just going to yeet around. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I like doing this where I just get to watch a pro game, kind of give my thoughts. It's what I used to do just to learn the game. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one, and sign up to Game Leap. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general, and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to gameleap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster, because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream. And that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're gonna see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it, and yeah, thanks for watching.